Good.
Nice.
Works better for contrast, you know.
Yeah, because I think I was in a red. I was in a green the first one, a red,
And I read the second time.
but I've literally been walking around like a cartoon character. Been so damn busy. Just bought a bunch of black T-shirts.
Oh yeah.
I'm just because you can't wear the same printed shirt every day, right? Because then it's like, hey man,
Yeah, it's obvious, dude. Right now I'm
change shirts.
except for my shoes, I'm in my uniform.
Yeah.
Black Wrangler shirt, black pants, beret. Normally I have my my Matflex Asics shoes on. I got my little canvas slip-ons.
That's true. I remember when I met you, I was like, all right, he's about to single leg me.
Yeah.
Like it's
Dude,
about
those
to
shoes
go
are
down.
just comfortable.
Yeah.
That's why I've worn them since even when I stopped doing karate, friggin' 13 years ago.
Yeah. But hey, you're always ready.
Yeah, ready
Can't be-
ready to run, ready to train.
Yeah. If you're walking around with some Jordans on, untied,
You don't want to get those dirty.
you don't want to get them dirty,
And dude, when I was a kid, I mean, we're for the listening audience. We're only 2 years apart,
That's
so
right, we started.
it was Jordan was still like playing, and so those were like the coolest shoes you could possibly have. And I remember looking at the kids who had those, and just like I wouldn't have put it in this way at the time, but just like the sense of like superiority, you feel better just because you have cool shoes.
Yeah.
And just basically that same feeling has remained. Maybe there's more like I can be more articulate about it now, and there's maybe more of a broader social criticism I can make about why that is. But basically, it's like because you have cool shoes, you feel better.
You feel better, yeah. You feel like you're higher up a step, a notch on the ladder, right?
Oh, better than somebody else, but also just better about yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, what does that have to do with you? Like, I mean,
it's just a shoe. Right?
Yeah.
No, but it's true. Just like a watch, just like anything else, or wearing a suit. If you go out in a suit, you feel better about yourself, and people treat you differently, right?
That is true. I mean, it's just
we could try a social, or even in scrubs, walk around in some scrubs.
Yeah.
People treat you like, oh, this is potentially a helpful person with knowledge, right?
Dude, but you know what? That is true. But the Jordans specifically bother me because they're so related to money.
Yeah.
Like, my family, I mean, who wants to say they were rich growing up? Nobody would. But I will say my family was, a little bit poor growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I was never hungry, but, like, we didn't have ever, like, name brand clothes. That would have been insane to spend money for Jordans on, like, a second grader. And that, like, always kind of bothered me growing up. And now I could get Jordans if I wanted them, but I don't want them almost on principle because...
Oh, man, that's funny you say that.
Why?
Because I have the same discussion. So I've never had a pair of Jordans. And now I'm at the point where I can afford Jordans. It's not a problem. My kids have had Jordans. My oldest son loves Jordans. I've never had a pair, and I almost have like a chip on my shoulder that I can get all the Jordans I want, but now I don't want them.
Yeah.
I'd rather wear some basic Chucks.
Yeah.
Just because I feel better in that. I'd rather put the money elsewhere.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, not that I'm hiding anything, but it's almost, now I'd rather not see or not have people see what I have or don't have, because I'm looking for character. And it's almost like a game. It's almost like just trying to see where people's heads are at, how they judge you, how they take you based on your material possessions.
Mm-hmm.
And then you might surprise them here and there.
Yeah.
Depending on their character. So not really about their money and status, but the character is what's important to me now.
Yeah, it's a slower burn strategy too.
Yeah, and especially when you have the confidence in yourself, and then as we've been also like working on certain things, right?
Mm-hmm.
That quote that we were talking about, how kind of motivation comes after the doing.
Mm-hmm.
So don't wait to be motivated to do something, because you'll never do it, or you'll only do it half the time, or you'll start and stop. But if you just push yourself to do that act of going to work out or going to read a book, once you get into the swing of things, you'll be more motivated. You'll be more confident about it.
Yeah, you could almost think of it as turning a wheel.
Turning a
like,
wheel.
Get the momentum going.
Yes.
And like when you see after 2 weeks that your abs are starting to poke through again, that, I mean, one, the momentum will already be there, but then the motivation will come in.
Motivation
you
comes.
spin the wheel faster
because you're
like,
seeing the results.
Yeah,
you're seeing the results, and you're seeing, okay, well.
But the Jordans are like, just to go back to that, like a quick burn strategy. They're very expensive, and the reward is fairly fast burning.
Yeah.
Like the shoes themselves are going to deteriorate.
Yeah.
But then also, like, what do you get? Like, how many friends are going to see them for the first time? And then it's cool when you see them for the first time. Yeah. But
it's so short-lived.
After that, it's like, well, it's also our age too. It's like, we're in our 30s. I mean, in high school maybe that's cooler, but
yeah. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of examples like that where once you get to a certain point and you've been aspiring to get this thing, it's almost, once you have that thing, it's just a little check mark. It's not as big as you thought it was when you were younger. When we were younger, it was, man, when I get that car, when I get that car part, when I get this, and then and then as you achieve these things in life, it doesn't really matter, and it's more of just a little trophy of the journey that you're on and what you're going through in life. You just check the boxes. And one thing that I've been working on too, especially with the different industries that I'm in for work now, they're very volatile, and so the ups are huge and the downs can completely break you. And so I'm working on not really celebrating too much the wins.
Yeah.
And not falling on my face or getting depressed with the losses.
Mm-hmm.
And turning to substances like many people do.
Yeah.
Because when you get a win, you celebrate, all right, let's go out. Start getting hammered, doing all this stuff. And then you fall off your consistency. And then that's the second thing we were talking about, right? The consistency creates that confidence to keep going, turns that momentum wheel for you, right? That confidence leads to more action, and then that action is what breeds those results.
Yeah, if only you could like somehow find the daily discipline as emotionally gratifying as a victory was, because the victory or the defeat, that's like, that could go either way depending on like how the weather is that day.
Yeah.
But you can, like, the work you put in every day, that's really what makes it in the long run. But it doesn't feel as good.
But I think as we keep going, and I don't want to give out, too much to the public as far as like what we're doing, you know what I mean? But
drugs.
Yeah, drugs, all kinds of, yeah. We're hopped up on Adderall. No, but I think as we keep going, and it's cliche because I've been hearing it from different people, but fall in love with the journey and the work more than the result, and almost detach from any outcome. So as long as you're doing the work that is going to get there, just keep doing the work, keep checking the boxes, right? Keep doing the X's, and you're going to love the work. So it almost becomes more painful to not do the mundane work.
Mm-hmm.
So the things that, and we were kind of discussing, like the little consistent picture.
Oh yeah, those daily little disciplines.
And it almost becomes more painful to miss that. And I almost stopped caring about the result altogether. Of course, we have bills and debts and investments and aspirations that we're trying to take care of and reach. But I'm starting to really, really see that loving the work and that journey, there's never a finish line. Each finish line is just another start line.
Yeah.
As soon as I, let's say, close a real estate deal, where a lot of people are celebrating, I'm not celebrating. I'm already thinking about the next 5.
There's a certain almost like emotional equanimity you have to have. Like, you're gonna, like, if somebody would look at you the day of like a defeat, like somebody else, and like you're okay. So for me, like, let's say I knew I was gonna ask out this girl and she didn't end up wanting to hang out with me, or she did.
Mm-hmm.
ideally, like you wouldn't be able to tell whether she said yes or no because I would have been, because the work I do to improve myself.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's really not even the best example. Okay, a better example is like I've been looking for a job lately. Obviously, you know that. But I can't. My emotional posture can't be dependent on whether I think I'm going to get this job or that job.
Yeah.
Like every day I need to be filling out applications, going and ask people for jobs, blah blah blah. And I can't be looking at my bank account every day and as it's shrinking, I can't be going after everybody and be like, "Oh, please can I have a job?" Like the further you get down, you can't become even more desperate. Like
as soon as you have the desperation, whether it's female, work, and for us in our world, it's called commission breath. If you have commission breath, people can sense it, and they're almost, what's going on? What's